One person who was always anti-Diddy and was always speaking about Diddy as a problematic person was 50 Cent. And it turns out that it's just been announced that he's created a docu-series on Netflix. I can't wait to see this. The other end of that, every person who has tried to speak out about this, who has tried to speak out about the industry, the type of people that are controlling the industry, the attacks that people face from the media if they try to speak out, is always the same. They're called crazy.
I'd heard that you were really arrogant and really full of yourself and really, like, out of control.
No, that's not what it is. I fight for what I think is the best at the time. The year before the Grammys, 50 Cent didn't win any Grammys. I went on TV the next day and I said, you all robbed 50 Cent of his Grammy. He was the most important thing. He was the soundtrack to our life in 2003. Now, when it was my turn, I was just being an advocate for what was the best out there, which just so happened to be me.
The platform that you're on, it says the first thing they say to you when you go to media training is stay away from politics and stay away from religion. You see what it did to Kanye? Politics and religion.
50 Cent has returned to his previous attacks, this time targeting Bianca and Kanye for being Diddy's freak-off partners. For example, he referred to Bianca as Kanye's dirty little wife child. According to reports, they are paying up to $170,000 a week to receive some therapy at a mental health clinic in Spain after he pulled them so violently. Kanye has been publicly endorsing Diddy, and 50 has said he doesn't get along with other people who share his views. He declared that he was being set up by the higher authorities and demanded his release. However, some people came out and indicated that Kanye was just like Diddy, despite the initial belief that he was merely stating this to acquire influence. With him, they even freaked out. After Kanye defended Diddy for months, Bianca and Kanye arrived for Diddy's trial, which is when the whole mess started. They were really denied entry since he arrived without waiting for the necessary authorization, but that was quickly resolved, and he entered the room the following day. But Bianca wasn't present. It has been suggested that Kanye's all-white ensemble was a nod to Diddy's previous all-white freak-off affairs. But despite his assertion that Diddy was innocent, he left the courtroom in less than half an hour. One of the reporters actually asked him if he was there to support the diddler just before he went inside, and he said that he was. However, as he got inside and heard the details of what Dylan did in person, it became too much for him, and he ran out. To commemorate the freak-offs, were dressing in white. A picture of 50 Cent sporting an all-white suit and multiple slides of Kanye's attire were captioned, "Damn you. You should have brought your dirty little wife with that Grammys outfit." 50 Cent caught on to all of this silliness as soon as he entered the room and, as usual, wasted no time in making fun of Kanye and harassing him for his odd actions. Kanye and Bianca were pulled along by him, child. He has previously attacked Kanye. In fact, they have been in conflict since 2007. And it is clear that 50 still hates him just as much as before. After Kanye recently revealed that he used to spend his leisure time sucking off his cousin's wood, 50 jumped in and accused him of being gay, claiming that he couldn't have been attracted to males for so long. Kanye posted a tweet that said, "This song is called Cousin, about my cousin who is imprisoned for life for killing a pregnant woman a couple years after I told it's possible that I felt guilty about showing him those dirty magazines when he was 6 years old because I was my own selfish mess." We then performed what we had observed. In contrast to the Playboy magazines my dad owned, I discovered other publications in my mother's wardrobe. Up to the age of 14, I sucked my cousin's D. Despite the fact that this was a really serious matter, 50 took it completely personally and ridiculed Kanye. As I previously stated, an AI picture of himself, for instance, was included in the post he wrote regarding Kanye's court appearance. Headline: I woke up this morning with the thought that you cannot be gay and suck your cousins for 6 years. Someone needs to inform Kanye. I will keep it from him. No, I don't do that. Kanye's lack of empathy for Dixie's victims caused others to feel absolutely no pity for him, even telling 50 to continue. He tweeted several days earlier, begging for Dixie's release, with the words, "Free Puff, Donald Trump, please. This was just another opportunity for Kanye to be trolled by those who weren't here at 50. Hurry up and let him go, my brother. For clarification, I will send half of the money to Justin because I recently found out that Puff is not allowed to earn or receive money while he is incarcerated. These white folks are trying to use Puff as an example, but my brother and I had our own issues, and Kanye even went so far as to use his clothing brand to gather thousands of dollars for him. However, when he attempted to transfer the money to him, he was informed that he was unable to accept any donations. Puff, as a warning, I am neither fearful nor bold. This is simply how I am. Because of his excessively harsh behavior toward Dylan, others started to investigate their acquaintance. Now it seems that he was also complicit and feared that he would be exposed if Dylan was apprehended. At first, it was unclear if Kanye had really done anything with Dylan, but soon enough, individuals discovered receipts proving his involvement in those freak-offs. The first victim of Kanye to come out was his ex. A few years back, in a studio, assistant Lauren Picciata accused him and Dodie of group saining her. They invited her to their studio to see them record, but when she got there, they tampered with her drink, and she took a few little sips and felt confused and less in control of her body and voice. She said she didn't initially recall the event well, but she knew that someone had touched her improperly that evening, and all she needed was confirmation from someone or something. Not until several weeks later, when Kanye casually acknowledged that he had slept with her at the studio, Lauren stated she was confused because she believed she had never had any sexual relations with him, at least not willingly. She realized at that point that Kanye and Daisy had had sex, and that Kanye was now trying to trick her into thinking it was a nice hookup. The trouble didn't end there either, as a model called Jennifer N came out soon after Lauren's charges, accusing Kanye of sawing her, strangling her, and putting his dirty fingers in her mouth when they were on. Kanye was a featured artist on the song for which the music video was being created, according to Jennifer, but he took over the production when he got on set and sat her in front of the whole team. Jennifer was among the female background actors and models he then instructed to line up in the hallway. The way Kanye was acting made Jennifer feel very uncomfortable, and she was wearing lingerie. Jennifer was instructed to sit in the chair in front of the camera after he drew 2 chairs near to it and placed them across from each other. He then smeared her makeup after smothering her face with both hands. Then, to mimic a forced oral act, he gagged her and slammed several fingers down her throat, continuously sliding them in and out. Then he loomed over her and began to surround her neck with one hand while strangling her with the other. Jennifer was accused by singer Nikki Heaton of experiencing respiratory difficulties and felt as if she had briefly lost consciousness by the end of this frenzy. Additionally, she said that saliva and makeup were all over her face. Nikki, Kanye's former assistant, also claimed to have been in the studio with Kanye and Dodie when the alleged saying took place. Since she was the only girl there, they shut her in the studio, according to Nikki, and alternately said
Lately, I felt like there was something weird because, there's always drinks, there's always, the vodka and the mixers just like sitting on the table, but we walk in and immediately Diddy hands me a drink, Kanye hands Lauren a drink, and we're like, that's weird. Why are they serving us? And Kanye kept looking at Lauren and like they were exchanging glances, and I'm like, they're like watching me strangely. And I'm like, okay, let me pretend to drink. And like, I'm not actually doing it. And like that seemed to like make them happy, like me like pretending to like to join in. And immediately I'm like, there's something fucking in this drink. There's something in this drink. And I didn't know what to do. And I like, my manager was like across the room, but like close enough, but like not next to me, so I couldn't like whisper to her. But I wanted to tell her, I'm like, hey, don't fucking drink this. There's something wrong with this. But I couldn't. So I reach for my phone and I start to type, and Kanye takes the phone out of my hands and he's like, who are you texting? Like, you don't need to text anyone. Like, we're having a party. And I was like, okay. And he like puts it on one of the speakers. And I'm like, now what do I do? Like, I don't know what to do. And I see my manager take a sip. And I'm like, and then I see her take another sip. 2 sips out of this little vodka cranberry cup. And I'm like, oh, I said, I'm in this studio The music's low, the lights are dim, but you can still like see everything. And I realized that I'm in the studio with Diddy and Kanye, and they're both off their shit. And there's 3 other men, an executive that works with Kanye, his engineer, and his cousin, and me. And I haven't started freaking out yet. I have realized that I'm the only girl in the room. And they start coming towards me, and they're like, don't you want to take your clothes off? Like, it's so hot in here. And I'm like, no, fine. I'm fine like this. And they're like, come on, like, it's just us. Like, we're all just friends. Like, let us just, like, see, like, how you look. And as these 2 grown men were pawing at me, trying to take my clothes off, I look over to this man asking for help, and I literally mouth the word help. And we lock eyes. And he looks away.
But it doesn't stop there. People, since Jane Doe, an unidentified victim of Diddy, just testified that she had been having a great time with another rapper named Bear during their hiatus. A lot of people believe that Bear is actually Rick Ross. Tia Kemp has already informed us that Rick Ross attended those events in order to freak his large back away. In any case, Jane Doe claims that she and Bear spent the entire night partying with a well-known, unidentified rapper and his spouse, who many believe to be Bianca. And Kanye.
He was on a trip with a different rapper named Bear, and they were in Vegas, and she goes to dinner with this rapper for his wife's birthday, and then afterwards, they go to a hotel, and there's an escort that she recognizes there named Anton, and she's like, oh my god, like, why are you here? Like, I recognize you, because she obviously did Freak Offs. So this other celebrity had hired this this escort, Anton, to have sex with a woman. So they go to this hotel room, and there's 7 to 8 people, she said, just staring, watching. So there's this banging this woman, and there's 7 to 8 people watching. And at one point, she even took her top off, she said, because she was in the moment. And the famous rapper went up to her and said, I think you're very beautiful. I always wanted to F you. Now, not many rappers have wives with birthdays in January, so you guys can do the math and you guys can figure out who it is.
Do not forget that January is actually Bianca's birthday month. Additionally, she spent her birthday in Vegas with Kanye last year. In the case where 1 + 1 = 2 and 2 + 2 = 4, what would you call it? Well, 50 Cent has one thing going for him. He never lies, even though he jokes. It's clear that Kanye has been going all out for Diddy because he is far more involved in this issue than we first thought. Kanye came to eyeball him because Diddy put in a motion to reveal the name of the famous rapper Freak Off birthday party people keep trying to say he was there for support, was one of the frequently expressed opinions. That is certainly not why he went there. Another person stated, the reason they didn't name Kanye is because they realize his fame and ability to communicate to the masses, which could sway the entire case. But believe me, when Kanye's fame dies down, they are going to come back to this case and charge him. However, I'm curious about your thoughts on 50 dragging Bianca and Kanye for dirt. Do you also believe Kanye attended those freak offs? Do not forget to click here to view this additional film, and feel free to give your thoughts in the box provided below.